Good evening, guys. It's June 19th today, Sunday night, and I'm preparing the video for June 17th, Friday, which is a quadruple witching day. So Friday usually I take a day off as usual, every day anyway I take a day off by 10 o'clock. But Friday, I was also done, and then I didn't bother to come back and check, So that's why I missed the video anyway. So now I'm preparing it. So if I use word today, that means it's assume it's a Friday, right? So today is all about quadruple witching, right? So price can move basically, one way directional move could be possible, going into the day. See, I'm going to only hit the key points here, right? So going into the day, neutral mindset. Price can trade one way the entire day. Possibility is there, right? So we have to keep that idea in mind. That means if of the open, if you see some kind of signals, or signs that hey, price wants to go towards that route, we can jump on board, and as long as price is moving, we can stay with it, right? And the moment it pause, we can bail out, at the right level. Make an exception to bias today. See, so why this word I used it? Because overall we know sellers are in control, right? So overall we have to favor sellers in general, right? Because prices, short-term sellers are active, mid-term sellers are active, right? But on certain days you have to make an exception to your thinking process or bias, because price can move other way around, it's like a pullback, to the downside. So that means price can go higher, hit certain resistance and then sell it. So that's a pullback, So for a 1 minute, 2 minute time frame, you can see an uptrend. But then if you look at, let's say, 1 hour time frame, 4 hour, or daily, it's kind of a pullback for the sellers, right? And if you see in a day trading time frame, let's say 1 minute, 2 minute, right, 3 minute, whatever, right, smaller time frame, if it's going trending higher, then as a day trader, you go with that bullish bias, not bias, but that upward direction on a specific day, and then trust that direction until it hits certain resistance, which is a higher time frame resistance, and then if price comes down, right, then you stop trading for the day, because now intraday buyers were there, and now mid-term sellers, whatever short-term sellers are active. That means price is going to do ping pong or go other way around, right? So why bother trading other way around? If you already get the profit from one way directional trade, especially on this day, you take the profit and run. Do not bother to trade unless you know how to trade those things, right? So that is the main key here. And then there is another point, which is overall sellers are in control, right? Dow and Russell had stepped up yesterday, which was on Thursday, but today they have to show follow through to the downside, today they have to show follow through to the downside, right? So yesterday on Thursday they stepped up to the downside, right? So now we have to see the follow through means if Dow goes above 3200 and RTY goes above 1700, then there is no follow through. Then that means it's an issue for sellers intraday, and that may bring additional buyers into other market as well, right? So these two are the numbers, key numbers. If price goes above it, forget the down day, right? So, and you can see it, Dow stayed below this area, Russell also entire day stayed below. At least now that sellers are there, right? So that's another thing I wanted to know, and then here I'm not going to write a story for each individual indexes, because it's a quadruple witching day and price just do whatever it wants to do. So, and now another thing is this: previous days RTH lows, high, dream numbers, which is for NQ, right? Haunting levels for both ES and NQ, and previous gap fills. Those are the key levels pretty much, So you have to observe if price comes there, and that is what essentially happened actually. If you look at it, previous day, Thursday's highs in ES and NQ, they held it. Sellers held it, right? Price went all the way up to that area for buyers, intraday buyers. But then those areas held it, the highs, and price came back down all the way to lows in ES, not in NQ. So that was a divergence, intraday divergence, right? And then price bounced and closed somewhere in the middle, and that's how they happen today, you know. Keep the simple idea: above Globex high or dream number, buyers can be active. Possibility is there, right? Crude, I did not check it today, so on Friday, so I'm not going to talk about this, but these are the levels, right? And then dream number 240, 198, right? So 198 was the level where I went long, you know, right of the open instead of short, because shorts are risky at the lower level, right? It's always the case. So now what are the signs that I looked into it, right? So it's all observation before open, you know. So let's go here, and then I'm going to cover Mboxwave also, different way today, you know. Today also, like yesterday on Thursday, right? Thursday I said I read it differently, right, in Mboxwave. So today, Friday also, I read it differently in Mboxwave. So just wait for it. After I'm done with this, I will cover Mboxwave for NQ. Now you will see some background noise because my wife is doing something in the kitchen. But you can see it right of the open, there was a bullish disconnect here. So that was the first sign, right? After the open, we observe. Now before the open also, there was a sign, you know, that something is up. Why? Because you can look at into both ES and NQ. See that here, price was trending higher overall, right? Like stepping up, but in a choppy fashion, right? So step up, step up, and then boom, straight down. Then again step up, step up, right? And then boom, straight down, right? Then again step up. You can zoom in. See, that was the pattern going on. If you look at it here, you can clearly see it. See here, step up, zoom, straight down move, again up, step up, up, see that, and then boom, down move, see that, and then again step up, and then slowly they die down here, pretty much, you know. But that was the pattern. That was the first thing I noticed when I see these things, like doing this before open and then come down this. I was thinking, man, this could be the way now, you know. The buyers may step in if it holds here around this 198 day number, right? But here I can see it poked below it, but it then went to Globex low, right? So at this point, it's a decision time for the sellers to break this pattern and just continue downwards, right? So here you can imagine a box in your mind. ES also same thing, pretty much, you know. So whatever I'm going to talk about NQ, you can assume the same thing with ES, right? So you can see it, this area, that was a hunting level too, right? And it was a bold area. And these are my comments, you know, that about this area, you know, buyers could be active, right? But below this, definitely sellers, right? Even below this also sellers are there, right? So price was here, that means sellers are active at that point, right? But you can't short it, but at least if price goes higher, you can go for longs also, right? But at least overall, you know the sellers are in control. Now if NQ, same thing here, see that, break above this area, some buyers, but as long as it is below 400, yesterday's high, you know, sellers are there, you know. So when you take a long, if you do take a long, you have to realize that sellers are here somewhere, you know, they may choose to step in, right? So, but at least by looking at this overnight pattern, right, looks like, you know, it may repeat this pattern, right, or it may not. So we have to see. But at least here I can see a straight exhaustion, right? So look at this move so far. See, it was always like small move, but if you look at it here this time, it was a failed breakout of Globex high. First of all, there was a divergence here. See, ES did not break above this area. NQ break above this, right? And then slight move and then straight downfall, right? Without even a pause, significant pause. Here also same thing, right? And then so that was the hint I got that hey, this could be the exhaustion or could be the beginning, right? So but this 198 is important. Now why it is important? Because I say so, you know. So also hold on, look at this, right? So in my Discord at 9:29 a.m., right, I said 83 and 95 ES, 197, 200, 240, 250 to watch of the open or fail breakdown or breakdown of last lows, right? So you have to watch either fail breakdown around that area or real breakdown, right? Now it is in line with what I just discussed with you, right? So 83, which is right here, right? Fail breakdown of 83 or 95, and then in Q 197 this area or 240 this area, right? So price already went through it, correct, and I typed it at 929, which is right around before open, right here, right? So we are watching this area, right? So the moment I see this before in the pre-market, ideally it should have stayed between 197 below 200 for the continuation, right? But before open it was like balancing here, see that? And then right of the open it tried to go higher, right, like a failed breakdown, correct? And then of the open it like poked a little bit below and then immediately straight up thrust, right? So while and another thing was bullish disconnect, right, because ES was at the gap fill, correct? So it was a bullish disconnect and kind of a fill breakdown here, you know? So all I had to see at that point, that price touched here, the moment it went higher I was thinking, man, it will even go higher, fill breakdown is happening and price will go higher, right? And I was thinking let it go above to 40 to 50 and ES 95 I will go long. That was the idea at that point, like 2 minutes ago when this thing happened, right? You can see it here, right here, right? And we were discussing in Discord and then it went down. So at this moment I said in Discord, look, watch here, it should hold now 187. You know, it's like a failed breakout attempt here after this, right? So it should have held it below 197 and you can see it here, at least it tried to do it here, right? Same thing here also, see that, this 82. Then what happened? This is 5 minutes, right? But in between here you can see it. So at that point it's supposed to go down at that point, right? But the moment I see this candle, right, going above this 197, that was the hint. Now coupled with bullish disconnect, right, and good internals, someone is going to buy to take it upwards, at least up to this point, right? Bare minimum at least. And if it, and since depending on the size of this bar and the way it goes, you know, it may go towards yesterday's high, right? Because that was the whole idea, yesterday's high, gap fill, all these things, right? So obvious that could be the vicinity if price really wants to go higher. And short term maybe it can go up to this, but if you go long at 197 to 100, if you take a chance, it comes with the risk. But it works out, you can get instant 40 points here. And if you're lucky, price moves higher, proves it, then this could be the target, you know, or Globex high at least. And ES 95 would be the target, you know, at least. And if it goes higher, then this, pretty much. Those are the only two levels, right? So that was the whole idea. And the risk is low at that point. Why? Because in terms of a price moving higher, it's a risky proposition because it's the right of the open, right? But in terms of a reward risk criteria, the risk is right here, right below this, you know, that is a stop loss right there, right? So, and the profit is higher. So risk reward perspective, it's a good trade here, you know. So that's why I went long. That is why I said I took the long here, right? So, and then price went higher, right? Same thing here also, right? It sliced through this 82 again. So ES long was right at the NQ, similar time, 75 was the long, or above 82 was the long, you know, and targeting 95 at least, bare minimum. ES NQ was right here, you know, so I took the both the trades, right? I took it in Ninja also and in my real account. Then price went higher, and by this time I was looking at this failed breakdown confirm, you know, because then here sellers stepped in, they failed, here they failed to keep it below, here also they failed to keep it below again, and now price just sliced through them. Obviously at least it's gonna travel up to this point, you know, at least up to this point, because that's where the last pulse was there, right? So maybe at least up to somewhere around here, right, which is 280 to 75. That's where I built out, you know, because ES was hovering around 95 at that time, right here. It was around 940. You can see it, 936, 940, right? So that's why I built out, you know, because it's a Friday, you know, I got instant points here, right? Actually, my target was way up here, you know, because remember the idea was step up, one-way directional move can happen, right? And this was the showing sign, telltale sign that yes, it wants to go higher. You can see there was a step here, right? So the moment price went higher here, you know, when I build out, right, you should look for a pullback. I think I might have said in Discord also at that time, if I was here, right, that there was a pullback here, But anyway, if you got this trade, you should be out, right? But let's say if you're trading, this would be a good pullback, because now price is trading above both 240 to 50, this area. Yes, also trading above 87.95, right? Sorry, 82.95. So when this pullback happened, it was a confluence area, dream number, 24-hour VWAP, intraday VWAP, right? Above dream number, it's a dream number area also. So this was a very good trade here, to at least try it. Back to this Globex high, possibly higher too. This was not the trade. This pullback was not the trade, but this was a good trade. Yes, also this was a good trade here, same time, targeting this at least. So those are the two good trades there, right? And then you expect price to move higher and higher. But also we discussed in Discord that one-way directional moves. If you see that directional move, you catch on to it. But then if opposite side happen, if you see directional, you go with that also, because that kind of moves may happen. An entire day you can see there was a directional moves, like here, here, here. Now here it was a garbage, right? This was all garbage now. After this it was all garbage actually, right? But you have to, in order to trade the garbage, I would suggest not to trade it. But I will show you in Mboxwave, how to trade this garbage. Right? But even regular way also you can trade the garbage actually, So let me show you something very easy. This is today's price action. So here, right? So the way you trade is garbage is this. So you can see this upthrust, right? At least from here onwards, there are buyers here, right? So you draw a box like this, right? And then I'm just covering the areas, right? See that? So this things, right? It came down, correct? So up to this point, you can see here. Here is a story, right? Up to this here. Let's say only this price. So how to trade this garbage? So up to this point, buyers are active, correct? By looking at this, also now sellers are taking control back. Correct. So now what happened? Entire day, entire overnight, this area pretty much, this box held as a resistance here, right? So that is your obvious resistance, correct? Entire overnight, this was a support. So that's why you see this box, I drew it, right? And you extend that box. So now from here buyers are there, from here sellers are there, right? So price is boxed between two parties. So anytime price comes here, you have to assume buyers could be there unless it goes through it, right? And if it goes through it, it has to stay below it. The moment it goes above it, you have to buy, let's say, right? When price goes here, you can short it, correct? And if it goes above it, it better holds it above it. Otherwise, you short, right? So now you can see it go below, right? So here you can short, break down, you can trade because it could be directional move, correct? So you are holding it, and pullback happened, right? Somebody shorted it again, right? Again it went down, couldn't break this low by maybe one tick, immediately pop back up, you should bail out your short trade here, right? And then you wait. And then what happened? This bar again up, pull back, you buy here, and then target this, correct? Look at this, see, right into this area, somebody shorted it, correct? Look at this, right into this area again, somebody bought it, again this, see? And when it breaks out, it better holds it. Look at this, see that? Here it tried to hold it, right? And then what happened? Again went higher, correct? Again went higher, correct? And then look what happened. Again went higher here, correct? Then finally break down, correct? So now it should hold this area as a seller's area and then try to go here. By that time it was like what? 3 o'clock, right? So entire day price rotated around this. So most likely it will close somewhere around, I would guess, into this area. So let's see where it closes. Maybe it's light around here. See that? Pretty much, right? 4 o'clock closing was right around here. See, if you extend this circle, see. So all these things. If you look at my videos from the past, there are some days you clearly know where the closing is going to be. And this is easy way. You have to just spot the pattern. You have to know both sides are active. You can trade that way. And Mboxwave also I will show you. All these things. Same thing. Pretty much without even Mbox I can trade the same thing. But I'm just trying to show you here. Yes, same damn thing you can do it. Pretty much you can repeat the same thing here. So but overall it's a garbage price action, right? So that's why, even quadruple witching, I was hoping that directional move one way, right, entire day. And if that does not happen, you should not trade, because then you will mostly run into ping pong, and if you're not careful, you will lose money, right? So this was a very good trade of the open, right? So that was the story for ES and NQ pretty much. Bullish disconnect, and this was a good long. So remember, initially I discussed that intraday you can see some buyers possibilities there, but at the higher up you have to also see if sellers stepped in, then the day is good up basically, right? Both sides are active and you can play accordingly. So, and that was pretty much it for a Friday, right? So now let me talk about Mbox now. So this is Mbox, right? So let's talk about hold on, so not this one, this chart is good, nope, not this one, this one, yeah, this one. So I experiment with all the charts in Mbox, 1 minute, 5 minute, 15 minute, 30 minute, even 1 hour, sometimes 2 hours, and sometimes 10 minutes, sometimes 30 seconds, sometimes even 5 seconds, sometimes, so I try to do all these things, just to see if I can get some better setups out of these things, but the lower you go, more risky it becomes, right? Because price just moves fast, especially for NQ, right? So I suggest you stick with little bit higher time frame. But anyway, so so today also is kind of a different kind of reading, but in a similar pattern which I just described for NQ, right? But at least before open, so this is before opening price, right? So opening was around here, correct? And that's where my long was, right here. But here you can see even before, right? So I was watching this thing, damn thing is balancing pretty much in this area, right, up to this point, and then something happened, and then price went higher. So this will become my Globex high pretty much at that time, right? So that's why I draw a line here, let's say, so you draw a line, this is a high of the overnight, but before that what happened is this, you can see it here, 139, right? And there is also 3-digit number here behind this arrow, 86, right? And here is 18, 31, 30, 12. So overall in this circle, actually, right from here, there are buyers. If you look into it, it's like more buyers than sellers, right? That's a high level summary, I can get it. And then overall it's a balancing basically, right? And then there is a breakout here, right? So price just jumped higher, right? So it looks like it wants to go to moon now. You can see there is a good reading here, 333, 332 or something, right? At this point, you have to assume buyers have control and price wants to go higher, at this point, if you are watching this, because by that time price was also like stepping up, right? So everything was pointing to the upside, correct? And then what happened? Then straight downfall, correct? Slight pause here, then again straight downfall, right here, some pause here near this lows, and then again straight downfall, stronger supply. This thing was also crazy, more beats, right? At this point looks like it wants to just tank. But now you have to look at the picture here, here everything was supporting buyers, and suddenly this thing came from nowhere, right? And just is tanked hard, like within, like, all this thing happened in 30 minutes, and price was balancing for 5 hours. Where is those buyers? Are they gone really? Suddenly something happened. You have to ask yourself a question, right? What happened? Maybe some news or something, but this is overdone. You can literally see it here, it's overdone. But maybe it's a beginning of something, who knows, right? Or maybe it's overdone. So that's why you come up with the levels, right? Key levels, which was my 197, 200 area, dream number, right? So, and that was the line here, right here, right? So now I was watching this thing, right, of the open, right? And then, so now I'm giving you the background, what is going on. So even without the level, this is how you read it, like something is off. You have to ask yourself a question. This is wrong, right? Whatever is going on. So you have to be ready for either side at that point, because if this is overdone, price is going to go back. pretty much right here into this area somewhere, and you can see it. See, that was my original target for this long. So but, and if it's downside, then I'm not interested in a breakdown play at that point unless I see something else, right? Then I will go downside, because my downside is price already moves so much fast. Now how much I can expect right of the open, another like 100 point, 50 point down? It could, but risk reward perspective, it's like a risky proposition at that point. It may go down, but then I have to wait, and then I may take a trade to the downside, right? But upside, it's easy ride if it works out, So that's why I get the long here. Now in inbox, you can see here, it went above 197, this line, right? But let's say if there is no line here, let's say you don't know these levels, so you see this price going higher, right? There's a 661, and then here you can see there was a buying came in, right, before we open, and then what happened? Price came down, right? And then what happened? Right of the open, you can see this strong buying. See that? Very strong buy, right? Pretty much. Look at the size of this damn thing, right? And then you have this K control dot also, or X control, right? Only minus for 46 divergence here, right? K control, X control, this buying, right? That was the sign. You go long right here. See, I went long early, but if you don't know the levels, you can go long here also, right? But you need to know the story. Otherwise, if you don't know the story, you may think maybe price may come here, right here, and it will go down right here. But if you know the story like this, and by looking at this, most likely it is going to go here somewhere, or maybe here, and that's where I will down. But at least you can know these things, that's how I read it today. And then you look for upward move, right? So let's say here, correct? So here you can see there was a pullback, right? And the trending pullback, correct? But then price went higher, right? And then pullback happened, and then price took a breakout about this area, correct? But look at this, 332, 160, right? So something is off, but price may continue to go higher, who knows, right? It can just continue to go higher too, like pull back here and then balance and then go higher, right? But then look at this also, demand is gone. See, this thing is also gone, this thing is also gone, right? Something is off now, definitely. So let's see if price holds it here, right, or goes down. Look at this, right? So that is your sign, something is off, right? And then what happened? 327, look at this delta, 28, 82 and 327, right? Look at 290, 140, 160 and 327, good number compared to all these numbers. Something is off. You have a K control, you have this dot, right? And this pullback minus 18, right? And after looking at this, definitely some sellers are there, right? But look at this, what happened here? Somebody tried to buy it, right? And then what happened? Only 38, price sliced through it. See, there was a short here, right here. See, and then obvious target would be this area now, correct? Because now you know the sellers were here, right? Because something happened here, right? Now you know buyers were also here, both sides are active, so anything can happen now, both sides are active, right? So same thing here. Now knowing the buyers are here, you extend this box, right, like this, and same thing you can keep extending it, right? Now what happened? Price, see, buyers are there here, right? They try to buy it, but this demand was not enough, and there was no buying here, right? That's why it break down. Now can I take this breakdown trade? Sure, because the idea is directional trade can happen, one way direction, right? This could be the downside breakdown, right? So you take the trade, but you have to manage it accordingly, knowing both parties are acting. Price can fool you, and looking at this supply, right? Now you can short here, and looking at this supply, this could be again exhaustion, who knows, or continuation, right? You have to manage it accordingly. Then what happened? Price pull back here, somebody shorted, pull back, shorted, again came down. Then what happened? See, supply is gone slowly here, right? The delta is gone lower, correct? and then look at this again, gone, right? But who knows, right? Price can balance here and then go down, right? And then you can have more supply. So you wait. Here again, look at 72, 92, 148. Now you know demand is increasing overall. Then pullback happened. What? +4. See, that is your sign now. Something is off. Look at this demand. Demand is not high, but you can see it compared to this downside, it is higher. Then see these things. So that's why this was a long here, right? So you can even go long here, right here. Then you can target this area, or maybe somewhere around here, right? Because now you know you are trading in the chop, and then you can see it. Price went here, right? You take a target here, profit here, and then see what happened. Price went down, right? So you can even short here also. Why? Because look at this demand was not great enough here compared to this original number, even if you want to count it, right? And you know there are some sellers here also, so obviously it's going to get a reaction, right? And then it is up to your reading whether you want to short it or not. There is no clear-cut signal here though, right? Like this, there is no signal here, right? Because there was nothing. Delta was good, everything was good actually, right? But knowing what kind of day it is today, you know, and then either both sides are in control or one side, you can trade accordingly. You know, you can get a reactionary shorts here, you know, take profit somewhere around here, you know. But you can see it even if this time also. So pretty much it close came to these things, right? And then went higher. Now this time it went through these things, correct? Like the same way here, it went through it. You expect it to hold it below, simple, right? So here same thing you would expect, correct? But then what happened? Delta was good, everything was good. Price actually held this area, right? Like this. And then what happened? Breakdown. See my point? So it was just playing a ping pong here, and there is no way to trade this thing afterwards. Up to this point it was okay, this long was okay, this short was okay. Once you see this price going, not coming here and right from the middle somewhere chopping around, this is not the time to trade now. You have to just quit trading, you know. So those are the trades. Now if you look at it, that is what I shown you also in my Discord. Actually I shared these things, right? Where is it? And hold on. So I took the screenshots also, you know, for this trade, right here. See that? So here multiple longs here, right? The same thing I was practicing, right? Same thing here. See that? The short here at target 282 and the long is here, right? So same thing I'm trying to explain here. See, if you look at it here, oops, not here, this one, see that? This is the short 282 one, sorry, this one, right? Same thing from the same line. See that? Here also after breakout the long here, right, which is around 11 o'clock, and this was around 11:35, right? So this one failed actually in between. I tried to do it, but 11:03 and 11:42, right? So if you look at here, see 11:02, same trade type which I discussed without looking at it, right? But you can see that's where I tried it. So that's all about Mboxwave today, you know, and that be all. I'll see you on Monday.